Alright, so we're back. I just had to organize all the replays, and you can see on my screen, I mean, Chaos can't, unless he goes to the live screen section, but I mean, he'll be able to do that later. Yeah, my statue is just randomly changing. You just saw it right there. I had this screen minimized because I was working in a notepad file for the replays, and to just organize them, and you can see on both sides here, I mean, suddenly everything is like really laggy here, so I might have to refresh the page, but all I did was just pause it, minimize this my Chrome browser with the replays, and now this you can see the statue is changing to some of the Archidon forms. Uh, to see some of your reactions in the no, it's both the statues in the replay. Yeah, so you're gonna have to take a look at this afterwards, but anyways,
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna
you ready to start?
I am ready to start. Let's begin. So
Okay.
um so yeah, this is me versus Khan on the other side of the bracket here. And yeah, I did opt. Chaos was he had noticed before we began and commented on it. I did opt to use an Archidon start, which I know I tell everybody don't do this start, but I did this with a sword following because I understand that Khan. At least it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to surprise him. But I know he lags. I was going to punish him for any approaches that he was going in too deep with a ranged unit. You can see there, I had my Archidon also on the border, so he didn't see it until I was able to get a few ticks on his crawler, and so now he's going to try to pull forward. Nope, he's going to wait for me. But yeah, Miskrits does this. I decided I'd just take from him and just kite. It's a little bit of a Jerry T-ish style, but it's certainly one that I was comfortable getting able to work, which is why I did it.
He chased you pretty far down the map. I guess he was confident he wouldn't lose any crawlers, so it was a safe
Oh, well,
thing to
it's
do.
very safe. With an Archidon onboarding, you have to understand, my economy is not strong right now. So my focus is making sure my Archidon doesn't get bombed, but I just keep him away from the center. So I'm collecting gold, and primarily from tower control. That's my income source. And having an Archidon, that just kind of makes me a little bit ahead with my army. Stopping him from teasing into my economy with bombers and with crawlers. It also, you can see by the 2-minute mark, I'm going to have a second Archidon come out, and I don't have many miners. I'm all gold focused right now, but my swords are also killing crawlers, and now I'm going to have a second ranged unit. So yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with this surprise. It's just a matter of, making sure I do not let myself get bombed. Like right there, I put my Archidon way too close. But what I did do, though, is see he had 2 bombers. I ran my second Archidon in, so it would take both the bomber hits, so he wouldn't have an extra bomber to use.
That makes sense. His crawlers are pretty low, and you have a lot of swords there. It's a little bit of a dangerous spot, even though he's ahead on economy. If you can punish him with a couple minor
Well, I
hits, you'll
wanted
be
him
in
to
really
just
good
blow
shape.
that bomber when he didn't really need to waste it. Right there was a pretty bad blast, though, and I don't know what was taking my other units so long to come up here. And yeah, he has to opt to go into a castle dead just because I'm certainly running the sword and Archidon macro.
He's got to back that second row gold up.
Yep. Again, I'm so cautious because this is my army. I can't let my Archidons take like any hits of any kind. And like there, you can see how, again.
Well, you killed a ton of crawlers and those bombers. That was well worth it. It's very hard to approach a bunch of archers with crawlers. It's very difficult.
And see, that right there is what I'm talking about. How he had his bomber going forward, and it just stops. Just in something like, in the lag play, units just don't work the way you think it should.
There's a bomber glitch that happens on all maps with lag or without, where they just stop running randomly. If you tell them to run. It's something that you got to be careful of and actually play around. If you're going to chase an Archidon, you have to actually use the mini map to click the back of their base, because if you click the unit, it just seems to stop randomly.
Yeah. Well, see, one of my habits is instead of doing that, I click the run forward button, so I don't have, a bomber ever going too deep. But yeah, you have to do the same thing. You can't target. And but one thing, when
Ooh,
it's
now you got those 2 archers poisoned. It's a pretty long map, but I guess they'll probably make it back.
or yeah, see.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I didn't get that G-Kite there, but now he has the Jugger. So again, this strategy is more for like
Oh,
early
you just
cheese.
lost those 2 poisoned Archidons too. That's rough.
Yeah.
Back in your base,
I
you
think
had
you
2
actually
Archidons.
started somehow. You actually started a little bit ahead of me, but that's okay. Now we know.
Did
You're
you just see
definitely not
those
behind.
Archidons die, or?
Yeah, I saw them still with a little bit of health, as you said they died. So it's no biggie though. See, like I said, we're close enough together where you can tell they were gonna die anyway. But now his Juggernaut's coming in. The one thing that
Ooh, those
is
deads
important.
are in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. See, I managed to get him creeping in too close. He does have another Juggernaut though, and I do not have another spear. So I do have the Merrick, but that's not gonna help here. Now Khan is backing up at a moment like this when you have a good line of deads like that. You gotta be pushing in forward. He's a little bit nervous because of how I was almost able to push him, but that was an almost situation. I still, am without tower. I've been without tower this whole game. I've managed to, now grab myself a pretty upbeat economy, but I certainly don't have much, against Juggers with charge. They're gonna just push my spears back, and my Archidons are gonna be defenseless. I don't think I've even researched Spiriton Wall yet, so I don't have, it's those aren't gonna block as much damage from the deads. And he's got a Medusa too. It's actually nice, cause playing so many games, I really honestly forget what happens here. Even though, this is with myself. He's just gonna take a stone there. He's gonna run a bomber. I honestly think that bomber is a great idea where he put it on the two Spiritons, because it flushed them out faster. And I'm gonna have to be really careful with my Archidons, because if I go over that puddle, this whole line right here is a whole poison line. You can see the dead, even though it's low. That could have been from the actual.
Oh, does that hit the whole way up?
Yeah. See, I don't know. I went ahead because I thought that wore off, and apparently it didn't. So I suffered from that. I got a mask. I just mass garrison here. I'm just like, I'm hitting the panic button.
Oh, there he goes with tower spawn. I was wondering what he was doing with that. He's short on jugs though. It seems a little dangerous to me to be so short on jugs,
I'm short on spears. And
especially leaving that Medusa in front. Now it sort of died for nothing.
he has the tower spawn coming. You can
That
see
animation
how,
really
I'm
helps
just
you a
running
lot, actually,
swords
though.
afterwards because I understand.
It's
how
amazing.
badly I need to be
It's amazing how important those animations are sometimes. Like, if you have a jug in front, you kill a sword, it can eat a couple rounds of those Archidon hits for free. Your jug had that super long animation right there. That was a huge advantage, because it just soaked about 2 or 3 rounds of dead hits for nothing. Ooh, now you're taking a lot of poison damage. That's a tough spot to be in, but you do have the damage on him. Oh, now the jug's out. He could be in trouble here. I think he overplayed his hand a little bit. I think he was a little bit too short on jugs. It seemed like he could have built more. I think he was
not
focusing
enough
too heavily on
play
damage.
here. But see, that poison though, that keeps all my Archidons from coming out. I'm just barely kicking now. Sure, I have, a good line of Archidons, but he can set up that poison thing anywhere. And see, like, right here.
Oh, that was very That was very dangerous.
That's still active. Like, I don't even understand. Like, I thought that wore off, and see there, it wore off there, but it used to wear off where the image was still there, but, you know, the poison puddle wasn't, and, yeah, I'm gonna lose quite a few.
Just a couple.
I guess, yeah, you're right, just a couple. I thought I lost more than that, but yeah, that gave him time to catch up, because now I couldn't approach during that.
Right, that could have been game over right there.
And one thing he notices I don't have is a castle archer. So he's using his Medusa to just take off my marks. So poisons, you know, will do more damage. And again, oh, see, I do manage to keep my my Archidons. Oh, back. Lured his jugs in. I gotta get a
Spartans! Ho! Spartans! Ho!
yeah,
There goes one more Merrick.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
that-
have another Merrick now because I actually researched Shinobi, thinking that I'd be able to use that to deal with his Medusa, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna even be able to pull out a ninja here because I need spears desperately. And I'm gonna go back over the puddle.
You also only have one guy on mana. Is there a reason that you're so low on mana?
I did that because I'm trying to push for the Archidon advantage. You know, the advantage in having, you know, more units than his dad's keeping up with DPS. You can see that how I'm taking the big poison.
Your whole army.
But yeah, I'm trying to press in and kill.
You're timing that very close.
I don't think I timed it well enough. This is where I lose.
Ooh,
my
that was
units.
risky. You could have taken one or two volleys, but losing all those Archidons, wow, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Because that was you
that's
had
gonna seal
one
it.
there. If those hadn't died, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So that did it.
That's a
for
very
me.
interesting game. I was not aware, and I obviously should know, I guess, but I was not aware that Medusa poison puddle hit the entire like a wall. It's like a wall, like a
It's-
mining
yeah,
wall,
it's an-
basically.
it's
I
an
didn't realize
entire-
that. That's and it had been extremely weak poison. It was the weakest poison in the game, I guess, is what I understand, and it's now been buffed where it's actually
Well,
actually pretty
It
meaningful.
also apparently
It's
stays out
very interesting.
for the full length that the puddle, the actual spot, like the physical appearance of the puddle is. Before there was a time where the puddle was out, but after a few seconds, you know, it wouldn't poison anymore. So you could still see the puddle
Right.
and walk on it. But apparently, I mean, this was my inexperience to that. I haven't had to deal with, I guess, a Medusa puddle like that, or at least
It's amazing, isn't it, though? Because I mean, you would think that, you know, if this is new to you and me both, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? I guess they really it was so weak of a poison before they buffed it that nobody really looked at it, and it's obviously a mistake for Chaos players to not be utilizing that more, because that's extremely valuable. A lot of times, one of the biggest challenges is, you know, after an encounter, if you need to push back as Chaos, you can't, because you just will get eaten alive by the archers when you're trying to retreat, and that could really open the door, lay down a poison puddle right before your, you know, retreat, and it can really save your whole army and save the game. That's pretty useful.
Alright, so we're gonna go to desert for round 2. Are you ready?
Just 1 second.
Sure thing. So again, I picked desert because, like I've said before, I'm doing everything, you know, I'm trying to just psych him out. I'm doing everything that really shouldn't work, trying to make it work.
I'm
The
ready.
Archidon start will do a lot better here on the shorter map, you know, and especially this, you know, with the swords following,
Right.
he's gonna have a lot of, you know, he's gonna have harder time pressing in every time he tries to go deep. As long as I'm keeping my distance, you know, he'll suffer more than
Let's
I will.
start the replay. And
All right,
you can
let's
continue.
begin. So, yep, again, Archidon start. I think
I'm surprised after the last game wasn't that laggy. I don't know if you know, but Khan had just gotten a new computer
yeah, I was aware of
2
it.
days ago and reformatted it, and it really has improved his lag a lot, which I think was actually a disadvantage to him because he's not quite used to that setting yet. But it's interesting that you went with the Archidon again. Maybe it'll work out differently this time. I think you actually had the advantage last time, but that that poison pool really.
Oh, I had the
turned
element of the
turned things around.
surprise. This time I'm pretty much going to desert telling him, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, but I'm really just poking at him to see, what are you going to do about it? I came pretty close last time, do you really have it here to force me back again? And you can see, he's running the 3 crawler, 1 bomber macro, but again, just having that sword out there, it just stabs them on their way back. I don't have it selected to a crawler because I don't want it following one particular unit. I just want it to swing at whatever's in front of his face. Keeping my Archidon safe. Just let my my little sword guy, it's free roam. He's gonna blow up that bomber, but that's what I want because I don't want my Archidon to be at risk. I just want to put pressure on him, control tower, control space, and put him in a really tight spot. Because Chaos hates being in these tight spots. Chaos doesn't like having to make these decisions. Chaos wants to be able to look at something and just choose when it dies, when it lives. Now he is building up quite a few crawlers here.
He is taking down quite a few swords. That Archidon kind of pulled back and wasn't taking.
Yeah, I forget why I did that. I did pull it back way too far. But here, he's going for the approach. So I don't mind, because he's going to catch up to it, but I don't think it's going to be enough to kill.
You have to
I
call
pull it out just
there.
in time to kill that little crawler there. Now again, I do this because I don't want him sending in bombers to my economy. That's so free with Burn being able to kill bombers. And not enough Chaos players realize how powerful bombers are. Against castle archers, how they can just swoop.
Wow, that was a huge mistake letting all 3 bombers hit that
I
one
have
sword.
to agree. That blast was certainly not in his favor. See, now I'm going in with the sword play. And again, this is 240 into the game. This is not your typical game. I mean, he is just now breaking into, mana. Doesn't really have much to spend it on. But, keeping up with bombers, though, which is good. He's trying to fake out my my Archidon, but I don't really care. I mean, because now I got 2 Archidons. Just gonna clap.
It's so hard to
crawlers.
push multiple Archidons with crawlers because you lose so many. It's really brutal.
Yeah. See, I am behind in population by quite a bit, but I'm certainly running my, Archidons in his face. I'm trying to keep my army advantage over him for the best I can. He's really, just trying to smother him with Archidons. And I noticed, this is again the 3rd time he's just done that bomber fake, so I didn't move my Archidons. Normally you'd want to avoid that, but he just kind of spun that in circles in front of me. Because, when I have all those swords, he's thinking the swords are really the root of the problem. My Archidons, I just move back when they're in trouble. But now, see, I still have that one sword. The Archidon.
You made up all that population advantage now, though. I think this is it. I think it's over.
Yeah, if I can clap that dead here, yep, there it is. See, he doesn't have anything else after that. He has that one dead in the back, but I laid waste to his economy. Yeah, and the one thing I think there at that time is since I was, running things in his base, it might have been smarter to just pull a castle dead, because again, that's something that targets anything. A regular dead has to take what's in front of him. A castle dead that can target Archidons in the back, that targets, swords in the front, but, either way, it poisons too.
Yeah, that was, I think that would have been useful that game, especially because he was ahead on the economy and he could afford it.
Yeah.
Because he just needed time.
He was
Time
running
was
the
on his
population.
side.
He didn't want me in his base, but not getting that castle dead allowed me to just continue with the pressure and
so next game you guys are on Halloween. How are you doing on the next game? You about ready to start?
Well, that's one thing. If I can get this copy pasted.
When you say begin, I think you're waiting longer. Just wait like half second, quarter second.
All right, I'm not gonna wait. You can just begin. So there.
Wait now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll start. over. So here we go. So one thing about this though is this is going to be quick because yeah, he did not declare
How's
Empire chains.
I
So
just want to make sure we're not desynced by too much. Oh, okay.
it's not going to matter this game. It's just get it out there that no, he didn't tell me he was switching to elementals. He said what map he was switching to, and then suddenly I'm seeing it's like elementals, and I'm like, whoa, you didn't tell me about this, So fair warning.
Right, it does have to be announced. Right.
Yeah. So we're gonna go into the
Okay, so let's pull up the next one.
yeah.
Are you guys staying with Halloween this time?
Yeah. I mean, this is. All the Halloween choice is going to stay. The Empire choice stays last. But again,
This is interesting.
I was thinking too. I know exactly what he's going to do. Are you ready to start?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, let's go. So like I know, if he's opting to go elementals, since I didn't strike Halloween, because I was trying to run my Archidon start, I know he's going for that fire, because that's what you do as elementals on a map.
You pretty much have to.
Well,
Even on medium maps, I think
you don't
it's definitely
have
versus
to,
order.
but
The way you don't have to, but versus order, the problem is if you go.
I'd say you'd
if
be
you-
stupid if you didn't, because fires are
Right.
so strong. One hit, and you can see right there too.
And with this increased range,
Yeah,
right now with
tried
the increased
to-
range and the increased health of an Earth, a Fire Earth is a very potent combo. I think it's it's a very good start.
Yeah, and you can see I tried to, move my Archidon out of the way, and I was just a tad behind, and it got clipped, and now he's half health. It's like I get hit again, he's done. So I gotta really be careful about where my Archidon is. I'm trying to kill that Earth, but I'm not gonna be able
That'll
to
cost
get it.
one sword.
Yeah, and see
Right.
again, he with Earth's having
And
more
what's-
health, he's just gonna put himself up with more population as these
Right, and
exchanges keep going.
What's smart about that the strategy for the way he's doing this? It's kind of like with the jugs, how it was so important to pull him back. He's pulling those back, and now he's got a miner because he's got the initiative on offense. It really doesn't matter at all that miner's got 20% health. He's still mining just as good as he had 100%, and it's not really at risk at dying. So it's a very good start for elementals this way if you're good about taking your Earths back and making sure you turn them into
It's a
miners.
very good
Otherwise,
start.
you get too
It's
far
so
behind
powerful.
on economy.
I mean, see, look, he just has to switch targets with his fire, and see right there, I'm trying
there
to
that guy goes.
be
Yeah.
sneaky, but he caught me, and I couldn't even get that second hit on the fire.
And that's game.
Yeah. See, I didn't have anything to deal with his Earths. I didn't have anything to deal with his fire. Yeah, it's just that's the elemental stuff. So yeah, now
So
I'm thinking how that's
insist
gonna counter my
on
order
race-
play on short maps. Yeah, that's.
You have race selection first or second?
Oh, it's definitely after the map, because like as you saw there, I mean that was
Right, that's-
crucial.
that exact thing is
If I knew
why
he was going
I had
elementals,
originally-
I wouldn't have let him go to swamp or
And
Halloween.
that is exactly
goodness.
why I wrote it up as race first, because the map, it's definitely map dependent, and if you had known he was going elementals, you wouldn't have chosen that map. And I guess
that
I
would've
just
helped
wanted
me since I won the last game. I mean, that would have just allowed me to keep doing what I was doing, and so because I mean,
well, he still switched empires, but I mean the thing is, if there's an imbalance on a certain map, it's like we strike maps to avoid it. So it's sort of, there is definitely advantages to doing empire first, but I think doing empire second does give the loser a little bit bigger of an advantage than I would like. But it's smart if that's the way it's written for Khan to go that route, because it's if you're going to
well, that's what I'm saying.
if you're gonna get empire pick second and you have the ability to switch races and you can take a map that's valuable like Halloween, order versus chaos. A lot of people think they're in really bad shape as chaos, but order versus elementals, order's in bad shape. So it definitely is
Well, only
smart
on that
for him to
map
be able
size.
to take advantage of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, my lock would have been if Empire pick was first. I would see, okay, he's going elementals. I'm going to then strike the small maps, so that way he wouldn't be able to fire start like that.
Right, and then you guys would have been on desert.
Well, I mean, no, I wouldn't have gone desert. I would have put elementals on a medium-sized map because.
Well, he lost, right? So he would have still gotten choice. Oh no, did he win? No, you won. So
Yeah,
you won.
I won,
You only
so-
got to strike.
Yeah.
So you could have struck at the small maps, and he would have put it on desert.
Yeah, so
So
that then the largest.
okay, so
he
now
would've
you're
gone was
back to
desert.
OVC though.
Yep.
Do you have this replay up?
I do. So we can begin. So, this is again. I'm back to just my Archidon miner. So yeah, I tried to.
I'm surprised you kept doing that with the lag being pretty good. So he's up 2-1 right now. Is that correct?
It's like with Khan, it's better, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's like completely curable. The big thing that's changed though is how there aren't any freezes. So like, and what I mean is, it never used to like freeze cold, but like
It doesn't
used to
fly up to 2
there used to be
seconds
frame
anymore,
traps. Well,
right?
no, there were frame traps where it was stutter motion. You know, it was stop and go, and it's that stuff that it's really hard to keep your composure. But that's completely gone. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I didn't.
Right.
Have
It is way better. It's
I
still
didn't have
slightly
to use this Archidon start like that. So
right. There is still a slight delay because of the going around the world thing, but it's for me the ping was about 300 milliseconds. That's pretty typical for.
yeah, so you can
random
see here. I
matches.
know what he's doing. He knows what I'm doing. So I don't. Again, it's just all for tower control. See, I do move my sword with my Archidon there. I'm not sure. I don't think I should have done that.
Now, in previous games, you had advanced, and that let you retain tower control while you guys did that back and forth. This game, he's going back and forth with tower control. That's a huge difference for you because you had an economy hit with that Archidon start, and now you're not able to mitigate it with the tower. So I think that really gives him an edge right now, I think.
And with those bombers, I mean, if he wanted to, he could really run those in and not only threaten to clip, my Archidons, grab miners, and that's what I think he's gonna do right now. Nope. See, this is a little bit of a game of chicken.
He just wants that tower because he knows your economy is
I don't
low.
know.
And
If I was in his spot, this is certainly an opportunity to fully commit to a charge. I think that's what he's finally getting himself to do.
I suppose because this game, the other games you had went with a few. Oh, he missed.
Yeah,
You had
I
went
kept
with a
them
few
out. It's a little bit of a
swords with
fake.
one Archidon. You had maybe like 5 swords with an Archidon, or 4 swords with an Archidon. This game, you had 3 Archidons with 2 swords. Very different army makeup.
Yeah, I do not get many crawlers off
He
that.
got 3.
I should
He
have been
got
able to
3
do at
miners
least
there.
4 or
That's
5
huge. Right now
volleys.
at this point, if he can survive, that's probably those 3 miners that you can't
And
come
that's
back
what
from that unless
that's
you
what
win
I'm saying
immediately.
about how scared I am of bombers, and that's why I try to put out my army advantage
think-
first, so
Right,
he doesn't
right.
get the idea to just use bombers to just blow that stuff up.
I think
because I'm
that-
so defenseless to it.
I think the mistake was in the other games. What worked well is you pushed him. This game, because you didn't push him, you let him hold the middle. You didn't get the economy back that you normally get back from the Archidon holding the middle. And instead of him having to kite you, instead of you being able to kite him from his base to your base, which allows you to kill more, you only kiting him about a quarter of the map. So he was able to.
Yeah, with this
back you up.
this map size is the one that really, if you play it right, doesn't help this start. Which Khan is making all the right choices
Right.
for when
And
to
I would
hold
definitely
back,
recommend
when to be patient,
that
when
most
to push
order-
forward.
Right. I definitely think the average order player should be starting with swords too, but it is an interesting start.
I did this thinking I would capitalize on getting speed from it, and it didn't really help me at all. He's letting his crawlers die there though, but again, I take poisons.
Leaving those out there, you keep gambling with your Archidons. It'll be interesting to see if they survive.
Yep, it's now a race against time.
Looks like you might lose one. Well, one's not too bad, but probably wasn't worth the extra hit.
I should have probably. I mean, if I had kept them out there, I would have clipped that dead because there was a dead that was really low to health. And I see the Zug. I'm just gonna go ahead and surrender. I had a spear, in the making, but it wasn't gonna be out for at least another, several seconds. So it wasn't worth me to try to struggle with the amount of deads he had, and how I was.
Right.
taking
his
a shot
economy
at
being
my,
ahead. It
yeah.
actually wasn't that far apart, but with that approach, you would have definitely killed a couple miners, and that would have ended it. You actually did a pretty good job coming back. I thought when he killed those 3 miners, you were going to be in a little bit worse shape than you were, but it still was just, it was enough for him to take it, I guess. So that ends the set, right? That was his 3rd win.
Yeah, well, that was his 3rd win. So that's how I slipped into the losers bracket to face Curious Turtle. But we can go ahead and put up your games with. Whoops, I did not want to make the screen that big.
So now we'll do the winners bracket. This is the winners bracket.
We'll do your winners finals,
This
so we
is
know
kind
who
of the winners
goes
bracket
into grand
finals in a way.
finals.
It's only 4 people, so it's not saying much, but.
So this is going to be you against Khan on Forest for game 1. Are you ready?
Hold on, from your naming, I wasn't sure. I put the 1 versus you. Just 1 second.
Okay. Rain also asked if it's better to go heavy swords or archers, and I honestly think neither, actually.
Okay, so this is Forest, right?
Yeah.
Chaos versus Con. Okay.
Let's begin.
Ready?
Yeah. So, Rain asked if it's ever beneficial to go. I mean, this is a more of an order question, so I'll answer it. If it's ever smart to go heavy swords or archers, and I honestly think, well, it's an answer I could certainly answer with, well, it depends, but I'm going to say neither. For the fact how each have the shortcomings, and it's better. I mean, it's better to open with swords, but work your way into archidons, so that way you have a mix of the two, so you can cover your options. Swords will go out to bombers, and archidons will go out to, losing into the economy, and will probably eventually just either get snuffed or just, get dropped to, not having any enough shields to block them from poison.
This game, Khan is opting for crawlers. It looks like he got his 4th crawler instead of a bomber. I did the 3 crawler bomber. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I was just saying how you seem to have more bombers on the field, but you're not getting kills
He hasn't
with the
built a
bombers.
bomber yet. He's going straight crawlers, I think. Now he's going for his first bomber.
Yeah, I don't agree.
And I have the tower control right now, which is definitely giving me a little extra gold, but he does have a lot of crawlers stacking up there.
I'm surprised you didn't just take that crawler with your bomber.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That was an accident.
Yeah, see, that was, I mean, even though, wow, lots of bombers.
A lot of explosions.
Yeah,
right
but
there.
none of
lost
those
two
were where you
bombers.
really wanted them. And now you're gonna lose.
Well, I killed 2 with the first 2 explosions. Those 2 were worth it. 2 crawlers down for 2 explosions was okay, but the problem was that 3rd one went off, and then I lost too many crawlers.
Yeah, I honestly think it would have been better to just stay
And
with
that
the
last
bombers.
one.
Yeah, and just kind of. I mean, you didn't really. I don't think any of that really paid off. Like yeah, a little bit, but
Yeah, I got a little bit of gold there from
spacing
holding the
spacing your
tower,
bombers
but
really
it
helps.
just didn't work. Right, it is necessary to pull him back a little bit. I had some tower gold there, so that's the only advantage I have, but his army is significantly ahead right now. I guess he's mostly got to go heal up, so he hasn't been able to capitalize on the army quite yet.
Oh, he's just gonna throw out that bomber, though. That wasn't smart on Khan to do that, but I mean, I guess he can, since he's running, he does have the population advantage, but that's an economy. He doesn't have. He's more gold focused. You, as you've been, are very mana oriented. You have a lot of mana for the start game. I don't actually like that. Do you think that this isn't gonna be turn up well for you? I mean, you already know how it works, but I mean,
well,
that is a lot
depends.
of mana.
So the thing is, it's dangerous because the brute force of jugs and dags is important. The thing is, I felt like I was falling behind, and once I start falling behind, a lot of times I feel like the Medusa might be my only savior. Now you can overcommit and really hurt yourself, but I'm about to build a Medusa right here as soon as I get the gold, I think. So there we go, 500 gold. It should be coming. If I'm smart. No, I guess I went with the jug. So that was probably a mistake there, going for that mana and not getting the early Medusa. But getting a Medusa out 30 seconds from now would be a pretty big
Well, you could
advantage
pull
because
a
most
Heron
likely
W, which is, and for those of you who don't know who the Heron W is, he's infamous for his Medusa builds, where that is his army pretty much, is just lines of Medusas.
Well, the big mistake I made here is I could have a Medusa out, and there's about 3 army units on the field. When there's only 2 or 3 army units, if you have a Medusa, you kill one, and there's no way the others can kill you. You can run back to
even
base
with
safely.
your Medusa,
So
your Medusa is going to take
it's
30
kind of free.
seconds, and you have more than enough mana for something else. I mean, you should really,
It was a
space
mistake.
out.
I built a Medusa instead of a jug. If I had another Medusa right now, I could approach. He would have to either push back from the middle or take the unit loss, and wouldn't have the ability to kill that Medusa. So I should really be building a
he has
second.
double your units right here as far as like numbers, not population. He wouldn't be
Right, that
never
was
really
a
able to
mistake by me.
approach with Medusa. Medusa is your back row support. It's there behind
that's
your
only
front line.
true because you only ever have Medusas when there's a lot of units out. Really, that Medusa could have been out. Should have started building that when he had 1 dead, and then he built a jug and a second dead, and they would have been out together. So if you
Even
can,
if you had
approach
another
with
Medusa here, I still don't think you would have been able to capitalize as much as you think you would have. Although you are doing quite well against those deads.
It was
right
definitely
now.
a mistake, though, waiting that long. The thing is, when there's only 3 units, you kill a jug, now there's 2 deads. They can't chase you down, so it's like a free kill. And by now, it'd be recharged again. It was just a mistake, and going for the mana build, the problem was, if you go the mana build, you have to get the fast Medusa, and I didn't. I waited and built the jug, and that was stupid. So that was a mistake. But now I do have 2 Medusas, and, my jugs are very low. All I have is 1 jug here, and I've got to retreat again, but he doesn't have the ability to chase me down and kill those. So they're going to recharge, and that's 2 more kills. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, I have the population advantage. So it did pay off. I should have built the Medusa faster, and it would have put me in a better spot. But at least building them, it did
You
go
have
a long
double
way.
mana
I have,
now for a Medusa. I'm surprised you aren't branching any of that into more gold, though. I mean, wow, yes, this is doing a lot of work. You could have been.
I do
so
have
much
3
more
Medusas
efficient.
now and a 4th on the way, but I probably should have taken one
come
off.
on,
I
you
think
could
I
have
do
been
shortly
way more
here. but-
efficient with this. I really
Right.
like it, but I mean, this is just a little bit about what you can do with
It's
early
definitely
Medusas
overkill.
into more Medusa.
Yeah, it's funny having a middle army of 2 jugs and 3 Medusas. It is a little bit ridiculous, I guess, but he's going for some chaos towers. I suppose that's probably smart.
Well, he knows you're just running in with jugs. I mean, I'm assuming
Well, really,
since you and him
with
play
Medusas.
a little bit, yeah, you're aware of what each other's
There we
game
go.
plan is. Get that.
And I'm gonna be going for the
Medusa.
ghost and the Medusa and the ghost with the petrifies, and that's
It'll be
basically.
interesting to see what Khan does with his own Medusas mixed in here.
So I got to kill that one Medusa and
Yeah,
and
you're
the
gonna-
jug,
you're
and he
gonna
took out
stone.
the jug.
Yeah,
And he's trying. He can't approach because I've got to run back, but he
once you
doesn't
get the
have
lead
enough
in
jugs.
Medusas in the Medusa.
And there goes the other one, because now there's 4. So his problem is that he can't really catch up with those deads, and that's why if someone doesn't have that many jugs, I think the early Medusas are really advantageous when they don't have jugs and wings to kill them with.
Well, see, the big thing for me was you were able to stone his Medusa, putting him again behind
Right.
these kind of units.
And he just stunned my
that's
Medusa,
something
but that
you
was
can't do,
practically
'cause I mean,
useless.
yeah, if he could get a second Medusa here, he would have been able to stone. He would have been able to stone out one.
And here
of
comes
those.
my 5th Medusa. At this point, it's almost overkill Medusas. I probably should have switched to something else, but
Oh no, this is great too, because it's one of those things where he could
Actually, my
try to
6th
dead
Medusa is
camp,
coming now,
behind
too.
the tower, and even if behind a statue, and even if he did that, you can just slowly work in.
Well,
and
my
just
problem
stone the
is that-
statue, stone the chaos towers.
my problem is that I only have 1 jug. I have 1 jug and 6 Medusas. It's not really an approaching army, so I definitely overdid it. But he also can't really build anything.
I'm surprised you haven't stoned the chaos tower right there. That's something that
Yeah,
I mean,
for some reason I wasn't thinking I could kill it, and then you see right there, I was like, wait, can I kill that? And then when I realized I could, I come and kill it. But
oh, it's the same thing with walls. Medusas can stone out walls, which I like doing. When I build up a few bombers bombers, they try walling and they think, oh, that's, I'm good now. I don't have anything to worry about. Nope, you just stone the wall and you can slip your units right in. Bombers, jugs, deads, and all. Oh, see, there he goes. He finally managed to double clap one of your Medusas. You weren't able to get rid of his Medusas, though, so now he's going to be able to garrison those. And, you don't have Puddle, though.
And he killed one more. Yeah, with 6 Medusas, Puddle would have been a good idea. And now he's going to come out and try to destroy all my Medusas, which he actually does kill one there. Almost.
It looks like he's been able to... Yeah, dude.
Well, he's so far behind him. I mean, 72 to 39 population. There's no coming back from that.
Well, I was going to say, if he just recycled his Medusas like he was doing, just send them back in and out, and you weren't getting any trades, and he was clapping, one by one. I mean, he eventually would have been able to come back.
It was sloppy at the end there, right?
Yeah, you were still able
to. But
it
was already so far apart. He could have probably ended that one a few minutes earlier.
All right, so again, I gotta find what replay is this? This one.
So back on ice, another medium map. Tell me when you're ready.
Will do. Whoops. There you go. Gotta make sure I copy pasta the whole replay. Alright, and we may begin. So, you like keeping with the medium maps, because I know you have a more patient play style.
Right, I generally do take the medium maps with almost any matchup, just because I feel like.
But I mean, this was
pretty
Khan's
common
pick, though. Do you think? I mean, why would Khan want to go back to something like this? You think?
Because he's similar. He's like, it's definitely a economy driven. He didn't used to play this way that much, but now he's definitely an economy driven player. And if you're gonna go heavy economy, you want bigger maps. So I feel like he feels like he can come back and take this one on medium. Also, those crawler heavy builds are a little bit more viable sometimes on medium maps, so he probably is. Dude, this is just a terrible loss of a crawler there by me to open the game.
Yeah, that's this micro. You have the bomber, but
sometimes they're so small. Those little crawlers were so small that really the problem was I was trying to click on the one, but I kept clicking on the wrong one because they're so little. The one I needed was just in the middle. It wasn't very constructive. And somehow I let that one go too. It's very sloppy start.
yeah, he's gonna use that crawler to hold the tower, and there's gonna be a blast in his base. But again, I've already explained how those blasts just don't pay off. They
don't. That was just a result of not catching him and not pulling it back in time. I was trying, but it was a small window. I was hoping I would catch up, but I never did. To the crawler. Now look how many crawlers he's got.
Great job, Space.
That was a terrible bomb.
Here. And yeah, and then again you're gonna.
Even though the kill there is totally not worth it.
You are not. Yep, there you go. So you are being consistent with your bombers. So I mean, you can potentially pull this out. You're just gonna need to get a few really good blasts, and
that was an awful one.
But you're also down 10 whole population. I mean, that's big. You are going to break mana first, which is good. Khan has still not touched mana, and this is 2.5 minutes into the game.
Well, but being down, he's got 50% more population, and it's a very bad position for me.
Oh, it's not. He's not a whole.
So you can see, obviously, that I mean, he could lose those callers in a hurry, but this, in my set with CT, he went some caller heavy, and I think what you see is, you made a comment that it's hard to bring out those crawlers because they're so weak to a blast, but because he always was hiding all his guys who were vulnerable to dying in a blast, I was effectively blowing 75 gold for no caps. It's all about getting caps and chaos versus chaos early play. And he did a good job managing that, and that's makes the the crawler strategy very viable because he managed the claps. There's no kills.
Now this is interesting. Khan is actually breaking wings, which I find pretty amusing. Oh, but you are also breaking wings. He's gonna manage to bomb.
I sort of had to because he's got these 5 little crawlers running around.
Yeah,
If I had dead, he would have just shredded the dead.
Yeah, deads would not have helped you any. Although you are taking care of his crawlers right now because he's trying to capitalize on that miner. But again, you're just gonna garrison, and that isn't gonna pay off at all.
So the crawlers are gone, but the problem is his economy has caught up in this time too. His economy is ahead of mine, and that advantage is going to be a tough one.
Oh, and he's gonna. Oh man,
that tower spawn. He's smart. A lot of people are
back fast
cautious with their tower spawn. You can see he's researching it, and I didn't. A lot of games I'm cautious about tower spawn because you really can lose the game for yourself if you aren't quite strong.
Oh, this is a convincing time.
And you jump the gun
because now he doesn't have to worry about pulling out a.
It's over, right? Yeah. But that tower spawn, I think it's smart. I think, getting that tower spawn is early game. There's only a few units. It's like having a whole extra jug. I mean, that's a huge difference
he wasn't
when
running
you can hold
of
it.
his own. That was going to be his jug. That way he could slip in bombers and keep it with wingdoms. He wouldn't have to be worrying about making a larger economy. He could just keep continual pressure, refresh, however many times it comes out. And at this point, you didn't even have your own jug, so you had no actual physical substance on the ground to deal with that jug.
Right.
That jug was just going to be there. Your focus was getting rid of his air units, and you weren't going to be able to do that. First, you were down in that count, and then you were down on the ground. So it was just like a clear victory for Khan there in all regards. So we'll go ahead and put up round 3. And then I feel like we're talking a lot about some of the things that go on behind games in general, but try to get in more for what's happening in the moment. What do you think? Okay, Rain is asking, what do you think of minor animation cancel? Now, to my knowledge, I think it's just the order miners now, right? Or can you still animation cancel with
You can animation cancel chaos and order, but not elementals.
I knew for certain it wasn't elementals, just because I had tried with my chaos miners a few days ago.
And chaos miners are a little bit the best because you can afford to take some hits and they heal back, so it's actually pretty useful.
All right, are you ready to start?
So I think CJ does know about that though, and they've opted not to change it. So.
Oh no, that's something that should be removed because it's what I see it as is like it's because I mean I've been in situations where I should totally be able to kill this miner, and then that miner animation cancels and drops 1 or 2 sword wrath, and it's like that doesn't make any sense. That was something that is clearly in my favor, as swords are army units, and the miner turns around and goes like Super Saiyan with a pickaxe.
Right, I remember when I showed you that you were pretty upset that the sword. I think the sword died and the miner had almost half health, so it's pretty substantial. And when you don't animation cancel, it's the reverse. The sword has about half health.
Oh, that's how it should be. All right, are you ready to begin?
Go ahead, begin.
Let's start.
But I guess to me, there's a question of is it a glitch and should it be used, along with it? There's all these other glitches that's kind of like obvious. Okay, this is a glitch or whatever. I don't know why I paused here. Oh, I was changing my mouse sensitivity because I think it's because I don't have a mouse pad. My mouse wasn't working right.
Let's take a breather since it's paused. What do you use for a mouse? Do you have?
I've just a regular mouse, Logitech. It's a laser mouse, but I don't have a mouse pad. And my clicking has been it's been hard for me to select the units I want lately for some reason. So I was trying to increase the sensitivity, but I put it up too much and I was way overshooting everything, and I figured I better wait till some other time to recalibrate.
I've got a Razer with max sensitivity. It takes a little bit to get used to, but I mean, I'm telling you, having that speed on your side, man, with just a quick wrist flick, and you can just move it anywhere you want. It's so nice. It does take a lot to get used to in your hand. It feels like you're trying to play something on, steroids, and you just took like
Right.
an injection into your arm and it's shaking uncontrollably, but you'll get used to it. All right, so it looks like again he's
Again, he's going crawler build. This
well,
time I think I'll
it seemed
catch
to
that
work out
one.
for him last time. So I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just a matter of if you can, you get that understanding.
And that one doesn't even die. That was
Oh
pretty
no,
brutal.
see, that's the thing. Burn, sure.
That's
But
where-
with crawlers and regen, you need more on them than you think. It's very deceptive.
Right,
with
that's
swords
where
and order miners, it's pretty clear to see, okay,
Right.
that burn's gonna do that, and it's gonna stay there until, that full hit point restore comes like 5
Actually, I have
minutes
5
later.
crawlers out. It looks like so. We actually both have pretty heavy crawlers, but those 75 gold. I have a couple bombers I've blown for 75 gold, and it really just doesn't buy you anything.
Oh, you gotta
If-
get them in clumps, and you're keeping your bombers out too far.
Right.
It's like there's that certain distance where okay, you keep your bomber
He's been
out
doing a
when you
good job
need it.
keeping his alive
Yeah.
too, though.
Ooh, you're
so.
getting.
Finally, I got a couple
crawlers
kills there.
Oh, you're gonna get 3 now. So that
Right.
that worked out for you. I mean, you're now up 1 population, but again, that's all stuff that can change. We can now see, and you're not moving that other crawler.
I lost that one stupidly. Yeah.
That was something that was really easy for you to get, and you didn't move it. Now you have the advantage on the tower, but you don't have anything to keep it. And you didn't get that blast in with the bomber too. That would have been really
And that's
nice.
the thing. Usually, the conventional wisdom is
See.
if you hit 2 crawlers with the blast, it's worth it. But it's not really true if you're not going to kill him because,
I don't know. I still
he can retreat.
would have avoided that blast if possible. See, the difference between you is when you have bombers, you have enough. Ooh, now that's interesting. You're getting predatory edge and
I want to see
vitality.
how we go, but I think he's got too many more crawlers than me. I thought I had a little more crawlers. I don't know
I've
if I
never
realized how many I
seen
lost.
cat crawler upgrades work out in a serious chaos match, because chaos ditto match only because, and I mean, and same thing with orders sometimes too. But it's because how lethal bombers are. You can stop a whole row of crawlers with just a couple bombers, but
Right.
the difference is from like how you've used them and how Khan has used them. Is Khan has just kind of thrown them out, forcing you to make a move, and you haven't really done that at all. But when you've had bombers, you've been playing too patient, and what I mean is you keep them at that distance where you think it's close enough to move them in when you need it, but it's not. And the moment you do, you don't hit anything
Well,
that's
it also
worth
was
hitting, and it's out far
Lagging
enough.
just a little bit, and it's dangerous if you're too close. Because like if there's a tiny bit of lag and you right before he's about to blow up, cancel him because he's so close. I was having problems in a previous game to this one where my bombers couldn't they kept blowing
you
up
do
when I
say
didn't
it is
want them to.
lagging.
Yeah,
See, and that's the thing. He took out your crawlers. You now don't really have anything to.
yeah, it was pretty useless. I need to switch to jugs and stuff. I don't know why I really went
Yeah, you
that way. I
needed to
think because there's
switch
so many crawlers.
Well, you could have.
And I have 1,300 gold, which makes no sense. That was pretty stupid. I don't know why I have so many resources, but I guess I lost focus. And I'm in pretty big trouble at
I'd
this
say,
point.
yeah, definitely a big focus lost. You're also like, you could have probably brought it back with crawlers. The thing is, though, your approaches right now with them, keeping them out. Ooh, that was a nice blast, though. But you're letting them die.
Well, the problem is there's no jug to protect them, and you can't have crawlers without a jug to protect them. So that's
His
it right there.
deads though don't have poison. Oh, now commentators
Right.
first. He grabs poison the moment he's gonna poison
Yep.
all your
And
works. Yeah, this is
game right
looking like
there.
a wrap. Even if you manage to get that, that giant out there. I mean, there isn't anything that, you're not gonna have much to defend after you pull that.
And he's got that Medusa here already too. I don't know why it was not surrendering yet, but yeah, I'm not sure
And
why.
then way too much mana.
I guess I was just talking to him, so I didn't. But I should be surrendering here any second.
One Giant. Let's see if you can do it. Come on, Giant. The upgrades for it. Oh, you didn't even get the first upgrade for it.
Well, I was already. I was when I built it and had all that gold. It was almost like a joke because it was.
Alright, so there we go. That is the win for round 3. And so now we're moving to round 4.
Is there still one game left, or did he already win 3? I thought it was only second.
No, that was round 3. What we just did.
But he's only up 2-1 in the round so far.
Yeah, it is 2-1 to Khan. And
so game 4. Well, you're saying round 4. I don't know if you meant game 4, but.
Oh, game 4, round 4 of this match. Yeah, however.
Because after this is round 4, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, I see what you're getting. Oh, yeah, in that sense, this is game 4. Yes. All right. I have it loaded. Ooh, opted to go to desert here. Are you ready?
Yep. Yep. Go ahead.
Begin. So. Yeah. Now this is interesting because I mean, you haven't once made any sort of build to take advantage of pressing in early. You've been playing again. Both of you play relaxed, so maybe this map size won't actually affect it as much as I thought it would. But I mean, this is your pick though. Why did you choose to go desert here?
Well, probably because when you're struggling and losing as bad as I lost that last game, and the one before is pretty convincing, it's probably good to change things. But also, with a shorter map, maybe the mass crawlers wouldn't work so well, was the hope. Maybe bombers a little bit. When you can see he switched to a bomber build.
Yeah, so you've given up on the cat army, which is good. Ooh, that was a good blast right there. And you're gonna get that blast there. That's so great for you because that puts you in a great position to control tower. Now see, yeah, you can bring up that other unit. Just keep him back.
But he did rebuild some cats. He's got his cats back, and I feel like I'm not as far ahead as I thought I would be right now.
You have gold, and the same mistake as last game. You're not diligent enough to make stuff with it. You let it kind of sit there, and then you choose to kind of spend it like when you feel like it. You got to be, you don't have the reflexes to be like, oh, quickly, I got gold, pump out a bomber. Because that's how you bomber stream. The units run fast, and they come out fast. But they're only as fast as you can make them. And it hasn't been collecting the resources to make them. It's been, it's you not being attentive. See,
those bombers are just.
You're just blowing them on full, healthy crawlers. They're not.
A lot of it's unintentional. I mean, obviously they're all unintentional, but a couple of them were just not really being that focused, and a couple of them were. I was kind of clicking them in place. A lot of times, like with units, when I don't want them to do anything, I sort of click them in place. But because there's just a tiny bit of lag, and they were so close to that crawler, it was like, the clicking in place just a couple tenths of a second, and then it just decided to go run into the crawler and die, which was not exactly what I wanted. At this point, nobody's really capped the tower yet, though, so it has been pretty, we're still theoretically even on gold, except that I keep forgetting to make miners.
And now we have some. Ooh, nope, here comes some bombers. Keep things explosive. Oh, no, don't do it. Yeah, now he has a dead out. So, oh no, you do have a Zug, but he's gonna move forward with that dead. He has another dead following. God doesn't have enough. Oh no, he's gonna opt for poison instead. Alright. So now Khan has tower right now, but you are running the advantage in population, surprisingly. I didn't think that was going to happen just from how slow you were making miners through the exchanges going on at the tower.
Right, that was a huge
So
mistake.
I think maybe you can turn this around. You do have the Juggernauts. I don't know what Khan is doing with that bomber. Honestly, if I could use it, I'd just blow up your Juggernauts right now, because that's going to be free burn. Instead, he opts to take your crawlers out. So I guess that's not a waste, but I mean, I wouldn't have honestly cared about the crawlers. If you ever wanted to use them, you'd have to go in front of the deads, in which case they'd get poisoned and they'd just gradually die of natural causes.
Yeah, I did. Really, what is costing me right here is that one jug. I should have had him garrison. When you're this close to your base, there's no excuse to lose a jug. You just can't let it happen. But I let it happen, and that's one jug down now. Now I do have enough mana for Medusa, so
You
it'll be interesting
have
to
the
see if I build
Medusa
one
out
here.
now.
Oh, I do. Or am I just building one? I don't see her. Oh, there she is.
Yep, you have one. You're building another one, but no, you have one, and she is ready to play. That's gonna be a Juggernaut down.
And see that I don't know. I kept misclicking here, like trying to get the jug back, and I clicked the wrong one. That's the second jug that should be in the base garrison.
At least you got a
There's one
charge out of it before it left.
See, there's
but,
another one that dies. If I had garrisoned those jugs and had, that could have definitely made a difference. I don't know how I was a population ahead and then suddenly was behind so far, but that's game over and that's a set for him. So now somehow my Medusa's the same one. So that's pretty much the that's the round. So now that's it makes him the winners group champion.
Alright, so that puts Khan in the spot for grand finals. I'll just see how long it takes for Khan to close this out.
I should remember that we were gonna stream this. Sorry. Man, looking at that graphic, it was close, and then just all of a sudden off a cliff.
Well, CVC, it's one of those things where, again, I mean, it's something from the tower control, but also just like how you manage to approach and what you approach with. And on that map, I don't really think being that patient as you were really paid off. You needed to be a little more upfront with more,
Yeah, I think I was sort of getting desperate at that point because the last two went so bad. But at this point, I think that's the 3 sets. I don't know if I have time to do a whole other set. Do you want to pick this up another time?
All right, yeah. All right. So I mean, now we have Khan in grand finals, who beat me and then beat Chaos to put himself there. So now, next time, I know
the next game will be you against Curious Turtle in the losers bracket.
Yep. So and then the winner of that would face yourself. So
yep.
All right. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll get these matches uploaded to YouTube when I can. But yeah, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for your insight into these matches, Chaos. We'll do it again.
All right, cool. Thanks.
All right.
See ya.
Peace.